Hello everyone. Warmly welcome to the mini video series on research methodology organized by the Faculty of Management Studies, Open University of Sri Lanka. So I am Manoj Samaratunga and I am from Department of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Project University of Sri Lanka. So today I'm going to talk about the N-Vivo, the N-Vivo qualitative data analysis software, and we have 10 to 15 minutes apparently, and I'm going to briefly explain the key important functions and the features of the N-Vivo and how to use the N-Vivo tool for your research. N-Vivo is one of the most popular research softwares in the qualitative research arena. And again, qualitative research is getting very much popular nowadays because of its unique ability to elucidate knowledge into the current practices. So today, we'll be talking about introduction to the N-Vivo and how to set up a project and the N-Vivo workspace to identify the basic features and the functions and how to import the data sources, content analysis and the thematic analysis a little bit, and the audio, video, and the image analysis. And thereafter, we have to talk about the literature review with the N-Vivo and review with an N-Vivo project. Always remember, the computer help for qualitative data analysis. Sometimes researchers question whether it is necessary. Researchers think that our human intervention is very much needed when it comes to the qualitative research, which is true. It is important, but how about getting the things done easily? So software is there for you to analyze the data. And remember, the software will not do the analysis for you. The software will carry out only your functions, only your commands. And it is a software package, right, that help to organize your data, the N-Vivo, and it help you to do comprehensive search through thousands of research articles, maybe hundreds of books, and to organize the data and to categorize the data and interpret the textual data and the visual data. And further, it helps you to visualize the relationship among the data. Always remember, it is not only the N-Vivo that we have, but also the Lakshman's, Frost, FSQCA, etc. And here you can see more other research, qualitative data analysis research softwares in the world. So N-Vivo is a computer-aided program designed for managing the qualitative data and carrying out the qualitative analysis. However, it does not analyze the qualitative data for the researcher, as I mentioned, but its strong coding function is the job of the qualitative researcher. And according to Scopus, N-Vivo has got 157% more citations, more than any other qualitative data analysis software solutions. And it is the only software with 3 million users across the globe available in 28 languages for transcriptions. And this number keeps on growing. So why N-Vivo? It helps you to classify, sort, and arrange many types of non-numerical data such as field notes, videos, audios, recordings, Word documents, etc. And it helps to examine the relationship between the data and provides an organized storage file system and helps to analyze your data to determine the relationships and the theme. And you can visualize your project and draw models and the chart. And it helps to keep the researcher closer to the data. Because why? Once you initiated a project with N-Vivo, you can upload almost all types of your research data into the software, and it will be super easy for you to go through your data sources, which are installed, which are imported into the N-Vivo software. So this is how the software looks. This is the version 12.1, and now in the market we have the 12.2 as well. So in the opening of the new project, you can see the blank project, the sample project, and the automated inside sample project. What you have to do is click on the blank project to open a new one, and thereafter you give whatever the important details, including the name, maybe a description of the of your this particular project, and maybe you can select where you're going to store your data, your project details, and thereafter you can save it. And this is the N-Vivo workspace. You need to identify the key work areas in the N-Vivo workspace. Now, first you find the ribbon. The ribbon carries most of the commands that you carry out during your projects. And thereafter, you have the navigation view. So now navigation view will help you to go through your data sources, and thereafter to your codes where you store the data for the analysis and for the classifications, categories, right? And you can also save your queries, your maps, everything here. So it is super easy for you to find the sources, find the project details which are stored here. And thereafter you find the list view. After clicking on any of the items in the navigation view, what it contains will be exhibited in the list view. They could be journal articles. Now here you see the codes. Codes are containers of your data. And after clicking on any of these containers, you will get the detail view. Detail view will exhibit what is inside any of these codes. And again, say if you click on a journal article or maybe a book, it will automatically open up in this detail view. And let's look at what type of data that can be uploaded into the NVIVO software. They include the Word documents, rich text format files, and thereafter we can upload the books, we can upload the articles, we can upload the in-capture documents, which are web-based content, and the photos, and the audio files, and the video files. And the uploading is super easy. Again, you can go to the open space, empty space, and you right click and you can import. There's a command import maybe, right? Or maybe new file. So you can click on that, and thereafter different options may come, and then you can select whatever the option you like to select, and then go to the particular destination where you have stored your data, and then you can upload it to the NVIVO software. So importing and categorizing your data. Here, we need to identify the sources in the NVIVO, the Word documents, rich text files, as I explained earlier, the PDF documents, audio files, movie files, web pages, and the survey data, the spreadsheet format, right? Excel files can be uploaded through the to the NVIVO software. So creating up the nodes. Now remember, in qualitative research, it is very much important that you have codes, right? You can always, the codes will help you to identify some pieces of information which are really required or needed in your research, some small pieces of information, and you can copy it and you can drag and drop into the new codes, right? And make it a small file. So how to create a new code? You can simply right click on the workspace and make a new node, or sometimes in the latest version, they call it the new code instead of the node. And thereafter you can give whatever the name you like, right? Which is obviously representing its content. And thereafter you can put all the relevant pieces of information into it. So that is the open coding process. And this is how you make it, right? You right click, make a new code, make a new node, right? And give a name. And thereafter you can click on OK or create, and thereafter a code will appear in your workstation. And this is a kind of a comprehensive code hierarchy that you can see, which I took from one of my earlier projects. Now this particular data set is available with Mendeley under my name. And now here, the Beach Boy is the parental code. And under the parental code, you can see the demographics, reasons for joining, again as parental code. Now, Beach Boys is the master parent, and these are other parents. Demographics, reasons for joining, services provided, repeat tourists, number of tourists, benefit receipts, illegal activities, so on and so forth. And these parental codes are also having child codes, including economic factors, educational, personal factors, and they also have the children from other jobs, poverty, less education, independence, so on and so forth. Now, always remember this, the codes will be hierarchical. There will be master parents, and the children, and the grandchildren, right? So this is known as the coding hierarchy. And you can also export your coding hierarchy by right-clicking on this coding sequence, right? And then you can export the code book or the code list, and that can be directly put into your dissertation or to your research paper. So what to code? That's the important question that I always come across with. If they repeats, you can code. And if some facts are surprising, you have to code. And if they state explicit facts or the statements, you have to code. And if it is similar to a research work you have read before, you have to code. And if it reminds you of a kind of a theory or a concept that you have read before, again, you have to code it. And finally, if you're a seasoned scholar, sometimes you might feel, okay, this is going to be an important thing, and I need to code this. So that is the intuition. You feel it, right? To your scientific mind, to your research mind, you will feel, okay, this particular point going to help me later, right? So this is the kind of the thematic analysis process that we follow. The first thing, you upload the transcription, right? So assume this is the transcription, you read it and you reread it and you reread it, right? So that is known as the data immersion. The more you read your transcription, the more understanding that you can have about your unit of analysis, unit of observation. And thereafter, you start coding, open coding. And so then you identify, right? You take them separately. You can highlight them. You can put it into different codes, right? Into different boxes. And thereafter, you need to identify the relevant, right? Or associated codes, right? You group them together, the relevant open codes, right? And that process is known as creating categories. And then you give a name to it. Now here, in this case, the time waiting, the time delays, the time for adjustment, right? You combine them together and put it into a category, and we call it time. And thereafter, you make the theme. The creation of the theme is important. And again, the relevant categories has to be combined together to make a theme. So that is basically the basic introduction to the thematic analysis. However, everything has to be done in the light of the theory, right? In the light of the theories, right? And you can get further information about the thematic analysis by visiting the Green et al. 2007. And thereafter, the other important function we have in the N-Vivo is the queries. You can use the queries to find patterns based on coding, check for coding consistency among the team members, and review your progress, right? The queries will help you to identify particular data sets, particular data patterns, right, which will appear inside your project, right? And it will further help you to go for the particular concepts, definitions, theories, maybe some cases, or maybe it's if you're doing a particular literature review, you can do the constant comparison by using the query function. So there are 4 query functions available in the NVIVO workspace. The text search query, it helps you to search for exact words, phrases, or similar concepts. And thereafter, we have the word frequency query to see what common terms are being used. Like, okay, you have some transcription and each has about 10 pages and you have done like 10 interviews. So in total, it makes 100 pages. And you want to have a quick look at these transcriptions, right? Without reading it, you want to know what it is talking about. So that is known as a word frequency query, and it will generate you some sizable information, some meaningful information about your research findings. And thereafter, we have the metrics coding query and the coding query functions especially for the cross tabulations and other key performances. And again, remember, after conducting these query functions, this NVIVO has this wonderful opportunity to conduct kind of correlation analysis. Yes, it is surprising. You can do some statistical analysis with the NVIVO software, right? So this is how we do this text search query, right? You upload some data here, some files here, and thereafter you have to search for you need to search for a particular term, right? Now here I have typed the term sex because my research is about Beach Boys, and I have uploaded some previous articles, and once click on it, it will deliver all the information about the occasions where the term sex has been used. Right. And so this is the word frequency query results. As I told you, the most occurring words can be identified through word frequency query, right? And thereafter you can develop a word cloud diagram. And this can also be used in your analysis or in your dissertation. We also have the function of classifications. Say now in the research, if you collect the data from the respondents, whether it's qualitative research or the quantitative research, you develop this nice demographic table to give the readership about the nature of your respondents, and that can easily be done with the NVIVO because we have this classification option. The classification will help you to give a particular details about your unit of observations, right? Unit of analysis, including the age, sex, income, education, religion, all these basic demographic data. So that function is also available. So this is how we create the classifications. Here you can see after uploading your interview transcripts, you can convert them into cases, and the cases can be classified under any category that you like. And thereafter, we have the maps option. The maps will help you to organize your thoughts and visualize your work with the relationships, and thereafter conceptualize your arguments. Remember, in qualitative research, it is always important that you think and you visualize your data, right? According to different models that you think might apply to your research according to different theories. And perhaps if you're using the grounded theory, it is important that you have a kind of a sketch, okay, how this should be going in, and how am I going to make the relationship in between different variables to develop a new theory. Right. So this is a kind of a map I just prepared to exhibit it to you. And always remember, we can also do the literature review with the NVIVO because you can upload like hundreds of different research articles, right? And thereafter, you can identify the key themes, concepts, definitions, arguments, recent developments, and put them into different codes. And thereafter, at a later stage, you can review them. And image analysis or the photographic analysis is another wonderful option that we have in the NVIVO, right? You upload whatever the photo that you like to analyze, and thereafter you identify the key features of that photo. Now, even in this case, you can identify the background, the materials he's having, and his facial expressions, the dress code, and everything. The audio analysis is another wonderful feature. You can directly upload your recordings, interview recordings, focus group discussions into the NVIVO, listen it a couple of times, and maybe third or fourth time, you can start analyzing it. And here we have this start selection, finish selection, and the insert rows, which are really important when it comes to the audio analysis. Similarly, we have the video analysis. You can upload the videos, right, according to the format that is acceptable by the NVIVO, and doing the analysis according to the different time frames, time spans. And both all these three, photographic analysis, audio analysis, and the video analysis, can be coded into the codes that you prepared earlier, right? I told you about the coding hierarchy, and that everything can be combined together. So it is also important to understand the in-capture function that we have that comes with the NVIVO. If you want to do a research with some web content, of course, we have this option to capture the web content without the external links, without the external advertisements, and thereafter you can perform any of the functions available at the NVIVO. So that's my brief session about the NVIVO, and you are mostly invited to collaborate with the Sri Lanka research community, right? And and for any possible research projects and for the supervision. And my email address is manoj.susl@gmail.com, and these are some of my recent publications, right? And thank you very much for paying attention to this little video about the introduction to the NVIVO, and we can learn much more things about the NVIVO with the future courses, free programs that we organize with different institutions. Have a nice day and have a nice journey in qualitative research.